Hey, Holly Matson here with Light Seeds Reiki for Animals. I have a question. What do you do with yourself when you feel stressed? Do you snap at people? Do you retreat? Do you get really restless and jumpy and need to go physically do things? Do you just stew in your mind and let things go? I'm here to say the same thing happens to our pets. The interesting point is that, as you know, I'm sure as a pet parent, it can be tricky to figure out what's happening and what to do about it. As an energy practitioner, I know that the energy that stress produces has a force of its own. And the more we can, I don't want to say disable, but redirect that energy, the better. Which is why energy healing is a fabulous way to deal with it. But let's talk for a minute about symptoms. And keep in mind, I'm not a behaviorist, but I've had animals all my life. For cats, for instance, let's take into example a household that has a lot of cats. And I know a couple. In some cases, they make a wonderful clouder. They get along beautifully. In others, like one example that I'm thinking of, there are 2 or 3 males that are struggling for dominance in the household to be boss cat. And so there's a lot of inappropriate urinating and sometimes little spats, bullying, things like that. With dogs, it's similar. Obviously, they have different languages. But it's similar to people when they can retreat, they can act out. There's all different ways for them to express their frustration, their stress, their Hello, Blue Jay. It's noisy out here. I apologize. The freeway is not too far behind me here, and on days like this where there's wind, it carries the sound, so it's a little bit noisy. So the reason that I bring this up is twofold. One is you can make physical, real life, real world changes to help your pet de-stress. And you'll have to know your pet well to figure these out. Again, not being a behaviorist, I can't help with that. I don't know your animal. But things like new toys, new distractions, treats for good behavior, redirection for bad behavior, and not punishment, redirection. But the other part of this is energy healing. So you have the physical symptoms, the physical behaviors, but you also need to address the energy behind those behaviors. Now, in my Light Seed store, and I'll add a link below, I have a collection of 5 meditations that include calming for pets. And I recommend strongly that you might want to play that on loop so that the Reiki that's attached to the recording can affect your pets. In addition, of course, you can always book a session to release stress with your animal. And it's a very effective technique. I've seen it so many times when there's an energy imbalance like that, either stress or seizures or anything that's kind of neurologically based. The energy healing is wonderful for this, to smooth everything out and get the flow back. But the energy has limits. I hate to say that, but in a sense it does. You need to address both aspects of the disorder, of the discomfort, the physical and the energetic/emotional, because one feeds off the other. And I recommend dealing with a behaviorist in this way as well. So for instance, if you had a severely stressed dog, you can work with the behaviorist to find new ways to reward, to redirect, to change those behaviors. And in addition, support all of that with energy healing, like the Reiki that I do from a distance. And I think, sorry, cat fur. And I think that when you can address all aspects that way, you'll notice a distinct change in your pet and how they come across, how they live their lives, and they'll be so much happier and calmer. So take a look at the links and see what this will do for your stressed out pets.